This is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton, and today I'm going to teach you how to use your rotisserie and roast a chicken. So get a pen and paper and be sure and join us. Also, be sure and hit that subscribe button because we'd love to have you along on our little homestead. Blessings! Hi, it's Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. We're back inside the kitchen where today I'm going to teach you how to use my George Forman rotisserie. It's really easy to use. The chicken tastes fantastic, okay? So come on and let's get started because this is something you're definitely going to want to try. So get out your rotisserie. I don't care if it's on the grill. I don't care if it's a kitchen style. Just break it out or go get yourself one if you can afford to, because I've had this one for about 18 years now and I absolutely love it. Okay, we're going to start here by washing all the parts. Whether your machine is new or you've used it a few times, I always wash the parts before I use it, before and after I use it. Alright, and this mechanism is the most important mechanism because it's the part here that goes through the chicken, the body of your chicken. Okay, this is basically the lid that slides up and down. And this can get hot, so be very, very careful. You want to set this back up off the back side of the stove. I don't even recommend that you set this actually on a countertop unless it's marble or granite or something, because this bottom can still get very, very hot. And so I just set mine on top of my stove top. But I have a smooth top stove top as well. So we're just going to take and we're just going to slide in the drip tray. And that's what this is. This is the drip tray. Most George Forman type products have a drip tray. So you want to slide this in from the top down, and then it hooks on to these little bars right here. And I will tell you, when you open this up, that this will produce steam coming off the chicken. This gets very hot. Be sure and sit it back towards the back, not all the way up against your wall to get too hot, because there's a lot of air vents back here. But sit it back far enough that little hands and dog paws and stuff like that can't get up here and touch this. This gets very hot and a lot of steam comes out of here. So be careful when you open this up because the steam will come up into your face with this. Okay? The timer and the settings are over here on this side. And when it's done, you hear that ding? There you go. And then the power light's over here on this side as well. Come on along now and I'm going to show you how to put the chicken in here and how we actually put it on the rotisserie and sit it inside. Okay, so here I have, and this is what I get. They cost a little bit more, but to me, they're worth it. This is a whole young chicken. It's probably a hen. She feels like a hen. And it has the giblets with it. So this is great if you're making chicken and noodles or what have you. This is really good for that. Now, this right here is USDA verified. It has no antibiotics ever. Fed all vegetable diet and no animal byproducts and raised cage free. Okay, no hormones or steroids added, and then it's signed by the farmer, and this is by Harvest Land. So this is a little bit more money, but that's what you got to pay sometimes to get organic. So, and by the way, I got this at my local Walmart store. They are selling these now, and they're just a beautiful chicken. They have all the directions that you need, all the information on the back. Now, on this chicken, you will see that it was $8.05 for this whole chicken. And here is the weight, 4.82 pounds. Okay, so it was $1.67 per pound. So 4.82 pounds. So roast for 1 hour and 10 minutes until the juices run clear. So 1 hour and 10 minutes. So what I do is I write that down. Believe it or not, I write it on my hand. 1 hour, 10 minutes. Oops, 10 minutes. Okay, I write it right there on my hand. I know I'll be washing my hand, but if I accidentally cut through directions here, then I know I've got it in another location. But what I try to do, see how I cut that and it split it right there. There we go. But try not to mess up the instructions when I'm cutting this. There we go. Now what we're going to do here is we're just going to pull it out by its legs, just like that right here. See, I'm going to tilt you a little better so you can see me a little better. See, you're just going to pull it out right here by its legs. See how I grabbed a hold of it like this right here between the legs? Pulled it out just like that, and she's a beautiful bird. Look at that. Gonna rinse this all out, keep from cross-contamination. I'm gonna rinse the bird really well on a low room temperature setting so I don't splatter the juices or the chicken juices all over my countertops. That's really, really bad, especially since I'm canning today. So now we're just going to reach down inside of her and pull out all the giblets and give the bag a rinse, and we're going to set the bag aside. Okay, and that's it. We're going to rinse the cavity out really well. Make sure it runs clear and free out the neck as well. And you can cut off this little piece of the neck if you like, but I'm not going to. Get it all clean, get all anything off of it. Perfect. Now to make sure that the oils stay on it, I'm just going to take some paper towel here and I'm just going to pat it dry. Just like that right there. Oops. This way the oils will stay on it while it's either roasting in the oven. There we go. Good job. And I'm going to get it all dry on the inside cavity as well. I'm going to dry all that out with the paper towel. There we go. Same for the neck. Get that all dried out really well there. Under the wings. There he goes. He's a clean baby now. He's a clean, dry little baby. There you go. And we don't want to mix this with anything. We're going to keep all this separate. Make sure there's no... There we go. They're nice and clean and dry. We're just going to take here, we're going to take the wings and we're going to fold the wings behind him just like this. If I can get hold of it, there we go. Oh, had to break that one to get it to go. And then we're going to tie the legs and the tail up like this. We're going to tie the legs up behind the tail, just like this with some string. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm just going to use this orange floss that I've got here. Usually I use kitchen string, but I wanted you to be able to see this, what I was doing. Okay, and I left a long enough tail that I could double my floss because I need it to be stronger. Now I'm just going to take here, I'm going to lift up this tail, and I'm actually going to, actually what I should do is actually crisscross the legs first. So I'm going to pull the legs together here. Going to crisscross them and pull them. There we go. Pull them together. There we go. And then I'm just going to make like a crazy 8 here. Remember the old crazy 8s? Make a few of those. There we go. And then I'm just going to tie it off right here. There we go, so I can see what I'm doing. I just wrap the string a couple of times around this center section right here. And then tuck it in, and I'm going to tie it. This is probably the part that takes the longest. Now I'm going to take this little tail piece, and I'm going to give it a tuck. We have 2 pieces to our rotisserie. Now the object of this is to stick this through the chicken body right here, and it's all right if the top and the bottom of the chicken body touches the inside of this plate. That's fine, because we're going to squish it up in there as tight as we can together. And then you've got this little nut right here. See that little nut right there? We've got that, and that's what tightens this up and down here. Okay, see that? That's what tightens that up and down. So we can go out as far as this far right here, and it still work. So now what we're going to do is the object is to get this chicken as centered on here and as weighted center on here as possible, so then that way it doesn't flop around, you know, and its legs flop back and forth around inside the rotisserie. Okay, so what we're going to do is we need to start the long end on the neck end. After we tuck in those wings, we're going to start this in the long end, and we're just going to stick these spikes down inside the meaty part of the breast, just like that. There we go. So the spikes right here, they caught that meaty part of the breast right here. There we go. Turn it up like this. And we want to make sure that these spikes on this one catch into those sides right there. So we set this on here like this. Make sure our thumbs are out of the way. We don't want to spike ourselves by accident. There we go. There we go. And we're going to tighten this down to hold it. And now we're going to eye it. And you can look down through here and you can see that this looks pretty even on here. That looks pretty even. We look down on this end and that looks pretty even as well. I mean, you can probably get a little bit bigger chicken in here. All right. So, and we, like I said, and you can see how I put it in here so this was touching pretty tightly. So let's loosen, yeah, that keeps it from moving around. I think that'll be fine. My problem is I don't want these wings touching the wall. So I'm going to loosen this up just a little bit. I'm going to push this chicken this way just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we're all ready to dress our chicken now. And I'm just going to rub this down with a little bit of oil of your choice, with a little bit of paprika, salt, and pepper. And you can salt the inside of this as well, and you can even slip a couple of lemons or garlic underneath the skin as well. Now I'm just showing you the basics, but however you dress your chicken, that's entirely up to you. It will work fine in the rotisserie. Okay, I've washed my hands. I'm putting on some rubber gloves here. And what I'm going to do now is I just have a little bit of grapeseed oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you like as far as your oil goes. I use vegetable oil because I feel like it holds up pretty well under the rotisserie situation. I don't normally like using vegetable oil, but I'm going to in this case. I have a little bit of salt, ground sea salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper, some paprika, and you can put sage in this as well. I'm going to add that here last. And I'm going to kind of blend it up here with my rubber glove on. You don't have to do that, but and I'm just going to kind of rub this chicken all over here, just like that. Don't want to put too much in here because I don't want to get my so you can see it a little better. There we go. Just going to kind of baste it. I'm going to kind of baste on the inside of the neck here just a little bit too. Roll my chicken over here and kind of hold on to it. And I'm going to do the same with this side as well. Kind of get down in between the legs here. Making sure that skin stays on there nicely. Back side of the wings too. There you go. Perfect. I like a little bit more collar on the breast. So I'm just going to kind of add a little bit more of the paprika. Just a little bit. And then just lightly pat it like this. That'll keep it from looking so splotchy while it's roasting. Do a little bit more of an even look. Do the same to the back side. I'm just using the bowl here to keep this tilted on. Just a little bit. Be sure and wash your spice jars after you've done this. Okay, and there we have it. Okay, our bird is all ready for the rotisserie. Just gonna carry it over and put this in the rotisserie. On this side is the spinning wheel, so we know that that's the part that needs to be right here. So just take it like this. Slide it across here like this and let it drop. And what we're checking for is to make sure that nothing hits here. Now the wing here is hitting the bottom, so I'm going to have to wrap up the wings. Now because the wings were hanging down, they were going to keep this thing from rotating properly. So I'm just going to squeeze this together. Make a couple of hoops here like this. Might have to put some more rub on here. Normally the wings don't do that for me, and I'm just going to crisscross this over, keeping these wings, there we go, nice and tight. There we go. That'll keep those wings from hitting that bottom tray and knocking it and hitting it. I would say a 5-pound bird is probably the maximum you can get inside of mine. You have to read your directions and see what yours has to say. Okay, and I gotta resprinkle on that paprika just a little bit here, just to kind of make up for what I just did. There we go. Pat it on there nicely. We're gonna try this again. There's like a little bar here. You just sit this on. It's like a little line bar, and you just drop it in like that, okay? Okay, gonna tap that tail. You can see as this is rotating, it's not hitting anything on the inside. So she's ready to go. So now we're gonna drop the lid. We're going to set our timer for 75 minutes, and we will be back here and check our temperature, our internal temperature, with the meat thermometer then. Okay, we're just checking on the rotisserie chicken. It's been about 40 minutes. Now tell me that that is just not gorgeous. And you can have this too at home. Just get yourself a little stovetop rotisserie like this. And the juice here in the tray in the bottom right here, see that? We can can that up or use that for bird suet, for dog biscuits. We can put it in the refrigerator and let it congeal. This is the good stuff right here, folks, right here. Now this is going to be ready in about another 10-15 minutes. Meanwhile, we've opened up a couple of cans of green beans and put on some new potatoes from the garden, from my son's garden actually. And we're cooking these up for about 25 minutes. We're going to let those potatoes get nice and fork tender. And then here I've opened up a jar of my home canned pork and beans. I've had people ask me about the pork and beans. Hey, those aren't mushy. Those are excellent. Look at that. Excellent. The little pieces of pork in there. Yummy. Run over there and give that recipe a try. Now, on my recipe for the pork and beans, I'll post that right here. You can just put in some soaked beans and just put them right into the canner. You don't have to cook them first. You'll have more solid beans. But I actually like a little bit of the beans to be, I like my beans to be a little softer, and this gives me more of a chili type consistency. So I pre-cook my beans for about 20-25 minutes before I can them. But you don't have to. Meanwhile, I'm going to feed my family some good old dinner right here. Green beans, new potatoes, pork and beans, and rotisserie chicken. Oh my Lord. Now tell me that just is not your idea of a meal. Even my mom came to visit me. She's eating with us tonight, so. Now next, I'm going to teach you all the different types of pumpkins here and squashes, and we are going to discuss how you cook them, how to eat them, and how you can even make bowls out of them to make soup. And I'll give you some delicious soup recipes as well. And here we have it, our rotisserie chicken. Now tell me that that does not just look so delicious. It's so moist and tender, it's just going to fall right off the bone. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And like I said, you can do this at home. You can roast this in the oven, but a rotisserie either on your grill outside or in the kitchen is so delicious. My family really, really likes this. And I just added some sage from the garden and some grapes here. And here you can have your choice of roasted squash or pumpkin that goes excellent with this. Would be a squash soup or a pumpkin soup. And some green beans with new potatoes and some baked beans, and we're going to have a delicious dinner tonight. We want to thank you for joining me in the kitchen. Be sure and hit that subscribe button. This is Chef and Builder Janie Pendleton. Blessings.